Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football mock draft on Sleeper app. Today we're doing a 10-team mock draft PPR on pick 9, courtesy of Zach, who commented. I figured I'd do the video for him today. Today is Saturday when you guys are watching this. I recorded it on Friday. But that's besides the fact. It is a 10-team PPR mock draft. The roster slots are 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, flex, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. But before we get into the video, I want to ask if you guys could please leave a subscribe down below. Click that subscribe button down below or right where my cursor is right here at the bottom right of your screen. Click that notification bell to get notified for daily videos. But besides that, let's get into this draft. So the first pick is Ezekiel Elliott, followed by Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, Alvin Kamara, CMC, DJ, Devontae Adams, Lev Bell, and now it is our pick. So the typical beginning of the draft being 4 guys. Sorry that I coughed. Being 4 guys usually is Zeke, Saquon, Kamara, and McCaffrey. But this guy at number 3 just swung his dick down and just picked DeAndre Hopkins. Now, if you're at pick 3 and you really want DeAndre Hopkins, I guess that's what you're going to have to do because he's not going to come back to you in the second round. But at the exact same time, getting one of those great running backs, those elite 4 running backs of Zeke, Saquon, Kamara, and McCaffrey, is just something I feel like you have to do if you're in the top 4. I don't think that that's a good strategy to go Hopkins there. But if Hopkins is his guy and he wants him, that's where you got to pick him. So pretty much the first 8 picks seem pretty normal. Now, Melvin Gordon, it came out a few days ago, 2 days ago, I think, that he is going to hold out and not go to training camp, not do anything until he gets his contract, the contract that he wants. Which will the Chargers give it to him? I don't know. I think they probably will, or he'll demand a trade. So he's probably going to play this year, but I don't know for what team or if it'll be for the Chargers. Now, if he's on the Chargers, he'll probably have a great year because the Chargers are obviously not the best team, but they're a playoff team that likes to run it with Melvin Gordon. So if he is not suspended, I mean, if he doesn't hold out, then I'd be heavily in favor of drafting Melvin Gordon here. But as of right now, it's too much of a question mark for me, myself, and I to justify making that pick. So we're going to go Joe Mixon here because he's a lot safer because he's not holding out or anything. And I'm pretty confident in Joe Mixon being pretty good this year. So we're going to go Joe Mixon. After Joe Mixon, Melvin Gordon is picked, followed by Michael Thomas. So now it is our pick. Now in a 10-team league, at this point, I am very confident that if Travis Kelce falls to you, that should be your pick due to the fact that in a 10-team league, the positional advantage at tight end is huge because you don't have everyone's gonna have stacked running backs, right? Everyone's gonna have stacked receivers, pretty much. Everyone's gonna have a pretty good quarterback, but not everyone is gonna have a good tight end because the tight end market is pretty much Kelsey, Ertz, and Kittle are the best 3 guys. And then even though OJ Howard is probably gonna have a pretty good season, he's not every single week. Kelsey might be 10 points over him. He might score 25 points, whereas OJ Howard might have scored 10 or 15. You normally not even 15. So you're pretty much locking in a free win at one position when you pick Travis Kelce, and doing it in the second round after you already solidify your running back 1 is a really good strategy. So in 10-team leagues, I'm targeting Kelce a lot, but I wouldn't pick Kelce if I was on like the first few picks, like because I don't think he's gonna come back to you in the second round. But I am definitely would not be opposed to picking a guy like Ertz or Kittle in the third round in that situation if you're at the front of the draft. So nevertheless, it's our pick, and we're going Kelce here. Now, the other 3 guys are going to go, or the other 2 guys, Ertz and Kelce, or Ertz and Kittle, are going to go in the first 3 or 4 rounds typically. So we're going to go Kelce. And Mahomes is going to follow pretty soon, like the third or fourth round. So after we went Travis Kelce, Juju was picked, followed by Dalvin Cook, Julio Jones, James Conner, OBJ, Antonio Brown, Gurley, Chubb, Mike Evans, Damian Williams, T.Y. Hilton, Keenan Allen, Aaron Jones, Adam Thielen, Leonard Fournette, and Patrick Mahomes, like I said, was picked. Now, something to notice out of all these picks, everything is pretty normal. Now, like I always say, I like to not go for guys that are risky. So a guy like Dalvin Cook, putting Dalvin Cook with Leonard Fournette, who are 2 like injury-prone players who are pretty risky, I would not do that. Even though I do like drafting 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, typically. Now, not necessarily in this situation, that may not happen, but that's what I want to say about that team. Now, I also want to talk about how Todd Gurley is picked in the second round. Now, I would not do that because of his injury. I don't want to have a guy that has knee arthritis on my fantasy team. So we are going to avoid Todd Gurley this year and pretty much cancel him. Just cross him off your draft board. You don't want him, and I don't want him either. So it's our pick. And The running backs and the receivers are all pretty good here, so we're probably just going to go with the best running back available here. And I think that the best running back by the end of the season may end up being Devontae Freeman, right? But what I said earlier is to avoid risk. So it's either going to be Marlon Mack or on Johnson because I think those guys come with less risk than a guy like Devontae Freeman who has proved that he could be a top 12 guy but also very injury prone in comparison to those two. So it's a toss up between Marlon Mack and on Johnson. Now I do a lot of these drafts and I normally pick on Johnson. So in this situation, Marlon Mack usually doesn't fall and I think Marlon Mack may finish higher than on Johnson. So we are going to go Marlon Mack here. After Marlon Mack is picked, Amari Cooper comes off the board, followed by Devontae Freeman. So now it's our pick again. Now we could go 3 running backs, which I think we're going to do here, because I think that the receivers we're going to get when it comes back, I like a lot. Even though I hate A.J. Green, I'm not opposed to going Diggs or Edelman here. But I think that on the swing, we can get some good receivers, whereas the running backs won't be as good. So we're just going to go with my second favorite guy, like I said, on Johnson. After on Johnson goes, Ertz is picked, followed by Stefon Diggs, A.J. Green, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Julian Edelman, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle. So like I said, the first 3 big tight ends are going to go in the first 4 rounds. After Kittle went, Montgomery went, followed by Brandon Cooks, Phil Lindsay, Kenyon Drake, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley, Sony Michel, Mark Ingram. So there are some solid wide receivers left that we can pick. So we're looking at guys like Golladay, Godwin, Lockett, and Mike Williams here. Or Tyler Boyd, but we can probably get Tyler Boyd later. So we're just going to go with someone who I think the safest pick of all of these guys is probably Lockett, due to the fact that I think he's just going to have a pretty good year. Golladay, I like too, but I think that Marvin Jones may put up the same production as him 6 rounds later. So I say, even though I still like him, I'd rather probably just go Marvin Jones later. But if Kenny Golladay does fall to us in the second round, I'm not opposed to going that. So hopefully we can get Lockett and then get a guy like Godwin or Golladay on the swing back. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just go Mike Williams. So we're going to go Tyler Lockett here. After Lockett goes, Godwin goes, followed by Kenny Golladay. So we just got absolutely fucking fucked in the ass right there. Sniped. But it's okay. Don't worry about that. It is our pick still. And we too can still get a solid receiver. Now, let me speak about a few things here. Cooper Kupp is a guy who's like the top right here. That's who they want you to pick. You don't want to pick Cooper Kupp due to his injury. He got hurt, I believe, week 10 of last season, and I don't want to draft a guy who tore his ACL week 10 because they're going to be slow to recover. Week 1, 2, 3, or 4, he might be slow, and you don't want to draft someone like that at the beginning, for the beginning of the year, if you're drafting him with such a high draft capital. Now, there's something different with like a guy like Tyreek Hill, who he didn't come off of an injury. He's just suspended for 4 games, and when he comes back, he'll probably be an absolute beast now. Would I draft him at the 4-7? Maybe. Not necessarily, because I like getting running backs a lot, but I do not hate the strategy of going Tyreek Hill, but that's why I'm opposed to Cooper Kupp now. Jarvis Landry is a guy I'm kind of turning my head about because I thought that he would be kind of shit this year, but I started thinking about the fact that now that they have Odell, it's gonna be people are gonna probably double Odell, and fucking a guy like Jarvis Landry might just be wide the fuck open, or a guy like David Njoku might be just wide open. So that's why I'm more likely now to go Jarvis, but I'd rather go with a guy who I feel is safer, and Mike Williams, who has a lot of touchdown upside in my opinion. So we're gonna go Mike Williams. I also like Tyler Boyd in that position. So after we went Mike Williams, Cooper Kupp was picked, followed by Jarvis Landry, James White, O.J. Howard, Sammy Watkins, Chris Carson, Aaron Rodgers, DJ Moore, Tariq Cohen, Deshaun Jackson, Carson Wentz. I just fucking sounded like Mike Tyson right there. Uh, Carson Wentz, Hunter Henry, Tevin Coleman, not Devin Coleman, Evan Ingram, and Rashad Penny. Now, when you're drafting a guy like Travis Kelce earlier, you're gonna not draft the tight end at all. I wouldn't draft the tight end, even a backup one, because you only need one in week 12. So unless Kelce goes down, you're never gonna put someone in over Kelce. So it is our pick, and we have our 3 running backs. We have 2 solid receivers. Now I think we can go receiver here and then get a running back on the comeback that we want, so we can get a solid receiver. So we're gonna go with Tyler Boyd here. I like him Pettis and Anderson here, but I think Boyd has the most upside. Being a guy who tore it up last year as a rookie, and usually after you'd play good as a rookie receiver, he was a rookie last year, I believe, if I'm not nope, never mind, not a rookie last year, but he was getting a lot of the targets last year, getting more equated into the offense, and now he's going to be someone who Andy Dalton looks towards because, as you know, AJ Green's probably going to get hurt, and Tyler Boyd will end up probably being the one, probably tear it up. And him being our third selection, he could be our flex play instead of carry on. You never know, but he's a pretty safe option here. So I'm going to go Tyler Boyd. After Tyler Boyd is picked, Baker Mayfield is picked, followed by Alshon Jeffrey. So our running backs do come back to us. Now, it came out today on Friday that Darius Geis did get injured in training camp, whatever they're at right now. I'm going to read it on Sleeper right now. Pulling it up on my cellular device. It was that Darius Geis suffered a hamstring injury and is questionable for the start of training camp, according to two sources. So he's hurt, even which is even worse than what I thought because I didn't want. I was fading him because of his injury and that he was on a team that has a shit ton of running backs. Now I'm fading the fuck out of him because he's getting hurt and all this shit. He's not gonna be getting. He may not be there for the start of training camp. So I'd rather go with someone safe like Lamar Miller. Now a lot of people will tell you Dante Foreman or Donta Foreman, however you say his name, is going to end up being that guy. Now, that could necessarily be true, but I think that Lamar Miller is such a safe kind of pick because he's always going to just put up 15 points, and you're not even going to have to put him in your lineup when you draft Joe Mixon, Marlon Mack, and Kerryon Johnson. The only time you're ever putting Lamar Miller in is if Marlon Mack or Joe Mixon go down for a few weeks, and you put him in, or when they're on their bye weeks. So we're going to go Lamar Miller here with complete and utter confidence. Now, I also like Latavius Murray or Darrell Henderson, but I'd rather go with the safer option. Where I think Henderson, if we were going for like a huge boom, we'd go Henderson because I think that he could have the upside of being like a top 12 guy. Where Lamar Miller will probably finish around like running back 15, but be the most quiet running back 15 in fantasy football, as he always does. So after Lamar Miller was picked, Miles Sanders comes off the board, followed by Darius Geis, Matty Ice, Dante Pettis, Henderson, Kareem Hunt, Eric Ebron, Will Fuller, Robbie Anderson, Sterling Shepard, Christian Kirk, Allen Robinson, Drew Brees, Jared Cook, Ronald Jones, Chicago defense, and now it's our pick. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks have went out of 10. And not 8 out of 10 because you can draft more than fucking 10 quarterbacks, but 8 teams have already drafted their starting quarterback. So I think we're just safe here to go with yet another running back because it's the way to win fantasy is by building running back depth, in my opinion. That seems to work every single time. So we are going to just be drafting yet another running back here and then worry about the quarterback in the next round. Hopefully Kyler Murray can fall to us. So we are going to go Latavius here. And after we pick Latavius, Vance McDonald goes, followed by Donta Foreman. So we are going to be able to get Kyler Murray. But let me talk about the picks before we pick Latavius Murray now. Nothing too out of the ordinary, except for Kareem Hunt. I would not pick him in the 8th round. He's gonna be he's like suspended for like 8 games or some shit. You don't want that in the 8th round. Fucking 8th round pick for 8 games suspended. That's just fucking stupid. Also, the Bears defense. That's kind of a reach. I don't want to reach that high to pick the Bears defense. I don't reach at all to pick defense, but I can't hate on people who do it. But I don't do it in like the first 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. I guess the 9th or the 10th would be where I would do it personally, but I would never actually do it. But that's where I'd be okay with doing it. So it's our pick, and we're gonna go with super high upside here in Kyler Murray. And when you draft Kyler Murray, I feel like you actually do kind of have to draft a backup quarterback because of the fact that we don't know how good he's gonna be in the NFL because he's a short dude, but that doesn't really matter at the end of the day because he's going to be able to scramble, dump it off to DJ, throw it to Ricky Seals-Jones, throw it to Larry Fitz, Christian Kirk, all those guys. So we're going to go Kyler Murray here. Kyler Murray has the upside of being like a top 5 fantasy guy. He could be this year's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not claiming that that's going to be the thing, but he could be. After we picked Kyler Murray, Jordan Howard comes off the board, followed by Larry Fitz, Geronimo Allison, Marvin Jones, Austin Eckler, Royce Freeman, Russell Wilson, David Njoku, Jalen Samuels, N'Keal Harry, Sean McCoy, D.D. Westbrook, Cam Newton, Carlos Hyde, DK Metcalf, famous Jameis. Now, out of those picks, let me talk about a few things. Now, Austin Eckler is going to probably be shooting up the draft boards if you're drafting around now or probably early August due to the fact that Melvin Gordon, like I said, holding out and he is on Melvin Gordon's team. And while I don't necessarily think Eckler's necessarily the guy who's going to do it because, what's it called? He's not necessarily going to be the main guy because Justin Jackson last year showed that he could also be the guy on that team. So keep that in mind when drafting Eckler. But Eckler's going to be pretty solid if Gordon is in because he gets that pass catching work and probably will snake a few touchdowns, and picking him in like the 11th round isn't too bad. Knowing that if Melvin Gordon does go down, he could be a great running back that week necessarily. So we are going to be going receiver here since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs and we only have 3 wide receivers. So we're going to go with a high upside wide receiver at the back of the draft. And while we're at the back of the draft, why don't you go and scroll down to the bottom of the page, click that fucking subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get notified for all the videos. And while you're down there, click the like button too. It would really mean a lot to me. So it is my pick, and we're just gonna go with the high upside of MVS now. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his buddy, maybe they're not. They're probably buddies in real life. Geronimo Allison went the round before. Now there's a lot of talk in the fantasy community. Who's going to be the number 2 on Green Bay? Obviously, the number 1 receiver is Devontae Adams. The number 2 is either going to be Allison or Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and I think it's going to end up being Marquez Valdez-Scantling. But, that could be just a whole goddamn discussion in the comments. So leave a comment about that. Who you think is going to be the 2 there. So we're going to go MVS here. After we go MVS, Jared Goff goes, followed by fucking trash-ass Corey Davis. Don't draft Corey Davis. I hate, a lot of people say, I don't hate the players. I just hate their ADP or their value, or hopefully you hear the motorcycle driving by. But you know what? I hate Corey Davis. I don't hate the guy. I just hate the player himself. I just don't like it. So it is our pick, and we currently have 1, 2. We have 4 receivers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs. We need 1 more running back because you need more running backs than receivers. And we're just gonna go high upside in the back and just go with Peyton Barber and hope that Peyton Barber ends up being the 1 on Tampa Bay. So after we go Peyton Barber, Jerick McKinnon is selected, followed by Cortland Sutton, LA defense, Jags defense, Kiki Cootie, Damian Harris, Austin Hooper, Dante Moncrief, Golden Tate, Phillip Rivers, Ito Smith, Adrian Peterson, me Cole Hardman, Big Ben, Curtis Samuels, TJ Hawkins, and now it's our pick. Now, like I said, you're going to want to draft a backup if you go with Kyler Murray, I think. And you want to know who we're going to match Kyler Murray with? Another guy who has super high upside in either Dak or Josh Allen. Now, that's like a debate. Who do you want? I think Dak is more safe than Josh Allen, so we're just going to go Dak here. I like Josh Allen a lot too. Same with Lamar Jackson, but we're going to go Dak here. I don't like Tom Brady in fantasy. I'm not about safety, really. Going with some guy who's super safe, that's not as fun, and that's not how you win a 10-team league, picking the safest quarterback who's probably just going to score 15 points every week. So, and on a team that likes to run the ball a lot, I think fucking Tom Brady's going to end up going in your fantasy draft probably in like the top 6 rounds and end up being a certified bust. So it's our pick. We need a kicker, and then we're going to go defense. So we're going to go kicker first. Get Greg the Legs our line. The way you pick kickers is you're going to look up some kicker rankings and figure out someone who actually knows about kickers to pick. Now, I'm not going to recite the kickers or the defenses being picked, but I'll recite the real players like G. Reg Olson picked at the 14-8, Deshaun Jackson, Naheem Hines, Emmanuel Sanders, and now it's our pick. And we need a defense. So the way you pick a defense is by you look up the NFL schedule week 1, and then after you do that, you then determine who is playing, what defense is playing a weak offense, and that's the team you pick. And then week 2, you switch to a different team, obviously. And every single week you can do that, unless you reach for the Bears, which is obviously something I'm not doing, but some people end up doing. So we're going to go with the Broncos, the highest ranked team as of now, and then we'll decide later. And I'm going to make a video about which defense to pick. So Alexander Madison went with the last pick, who is Dalvin Cook's handcuff. So I'm going to recap our team. Our starting quarterback, Kyler Murray. Our 2 running backs are Joe Mixon and Marlon Mack. Our receivers are Tyler Lockett and Mike Williams. Our tight end is Travis Kelce. Our flex, Kerryon Johnson. Our kicker and defense don't matter. Our bench is Tyler Boyd, Lamar Miller, Latavius Murray, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Peyton Barber, and Dak Prescott. So thank you guys all for watching the video. I would like to ask if you guys could please click the subscribe button. That's either on the screen now or going to be on the screen in a few seconds. It's going to be a picture of Johnny Football throwing up the money sign. He's going to be on your screen. You're going to click on him. You're going to click the subscribe button. You're going to go down below, click the notification bell to get notified for every single goddamn video that I make. Click on one of the videos that's on the screen now. Watch one of those. And have a great goddamn day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So I'll see you guys in Sunday's video. Goodbye, guys.